Dusty always told me to keep a small circle. Love thy hater even though they hurt you. Positive vibes, natural highs. So I'm tuned in to live life in the purple. Shout out to M Love, this is real love. How I know, cause she always show him love. It's all love, art and poetry. Tune in, you about to witness history.
What's up, what's up? Happy Tuesday to you. If you look up, what color is the sky in your world? It should be purple, baby. That means all things are good. And you are tuned in to Live Life in the Purple on the IBenXradio.com network, where we are on our positive mission. We're on our ground today. And I'm wearing my bright yellow shirt, which I wear on days when it's not sunny, so that I can look down and remember to be happy. I need to do that. But before we get any further, there's some beautiful, beautiful energy that means so much to me in this building. I need to let you know who is in the room. What's up to my left? Smiling brightly, closest to a redhead as I'm going to get in my world. What's up, Catherine?
I'm doing great, M Love. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, you're brightening up the world with that yellow shirt. I love it.
Woohoo! They cannot miss me.
No,
right?
You are going to be seen and heard today. That's right.
Coming on around the room is Happy Birthday Kitty. Oh, wait a minute. That stands in the place for somebody.
Who's
Who is
missing?
not here?
Oh,
I don't
where is
know.
she? The birthday girl.
Yes.
I don't know.
Say hello to Swagger M. Are we Swagger M today?
I don't know what I am today. I'm glad to be here. That's all I know. And thank you for the yellow shirt, too. And yay for positive vibes and purple vibes. And we're here to do this. Hooray.
That's Marilyn in the control room.
Marilyn behind the glass. I don't know if she's more dangerous with a mic in her hand or behind the glass. I don't know.
We shall find out.
Missing is only one. He's on his grind as always. He's fresh back from Miami from his performance. So he's with us in spirit. Also, Missing Link is in the house. The whole thing would be topsy-turvy if she wasn't here. But there are two beautiful guests here for a beautiful purpose. I need y'all to give some love to our indie artist spotlight. She's in here to have an in-depth conversation with our very own CEO of Zyla Publishing, Sean Bailey. So y'all need to give some love to Miss Danae Joy. What's up?
Nothing much. So glad to be here. How are you?
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
She's all
Thank
made
you.
up, and I look like I'm going to the grocery store and laundry afterward. And she's just all gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the
Thank
Purple,
you. So
and I hope
glad
you
to
have a
be
good time.
here. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Coming on around the room, y'all give some purple love to our very ATL's very own Lauren Doriana. What's your? You don't have a handle. It's just you.
It's just Lauren Doriana, first and middle name.
Oh, I love it. Welcome,
Yes,
welcome.
yes.
Welcome to the Purple. It's your first time here.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to get to hear some poetry. There shall be music. There shall be fun. And there's definitely positivity. So y'all hang on to whatever you got. Tell a friend, tag a friend that there's so many ways to hear this show today. And replays on Mixcloud and iHeartRadio. But this is Live Life in the Purple, and we're taking a quick break. Coming back with Love Speaks. And the topic is, if everything is perception, then what is real? But first, enjoy this song from independent artist Calliope Ray. We'll be right back.
Need to catch up on past episodes? No problem. Live Life in the Purple is on Mixcloud and now on iHeartRadio. Choose your favorite way to enjoy Live Life in the Purple, because positivity, it's a movement, baby.
It has been said that there's a time for everything under the sun. Well, right now, sit back and relax, because it's time for Love Speaks with M. Love. Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. That's from Lao Tzu. And that quote, I read a lot of quotes, and that one really got to me. Because lately I've been meditating on perception. I talked about it a little bit last week, but what perception is and just breaking it down, what it means for me. Why perception? Because I found out that perception is the end-all, begin-all of many personal issues that we all may be having. I know I'm having them or have had them. How we see things, how we interpret the world is what perception is. And I had to do a lot of massive work on my perception. And doing that is the only thing really that enabled me to get up, get over myself, and step out in front of people, unzip my outer shell, stand there raw and expose my truth through poetry. That was one of the largest hurdles I had to get through. Another quote says that no two people look at things the same way. And so how we interpret the world is really what creates our reality. I'm going to repeat that. No two people look at anything the same way. So how we interpret the world is what creates our reality. So that being so, what is real? Well, back to myself. I had to get people out of my head. And I had to get out of people's heads. I had to get out of people's head, meaning that while I'm sitting at home waiting for my name to be, while I'm sitting in a poetry venue waiting for my name to be called, or while I was way ahead of the game, while I was at home thinking about going to poetry and writing and seeing the whole thing in my head, I was hearing what people were saying to themselves. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah, that was me. My brain just raced all the time thinking, what is somebody thinking of me? What are they gonna say? How are they gonna react to this? I couldn't turn it off. And it was real to me. It was my perception of how other people saw me and what their reaction would be. Can you imagine with that going on? That's a lot. All I could hear was this unspoken dialogue criticizing myself, my work. Am I by myself on this? Can anybody relate on this with me? See, I knew I could write. That wasn't a problem. I had a passion for the subject. That wasn't the problem. What I needed to do was break out of my head. I wanted to connect with someone that didn't know me using something I wrote, but I was trapped in my own mind. And nobody could help me but me. Now, I bring this subject up because someone listening, someone watching, somewhere that will listen to this on replay needs to hear this and know that they're not alone. There's some task, some work, some purpose that only you can do that's going to make a difference to someone else out there. And this work won't get done if you don't get out of your way and if you don't understand what's real and what's coming from you and move that around so it works in your favor. Seriously, stop it. How did I get like this? How did we get like this? And how many of us are willing to get dirty and get down and do the work? Yes, work. Get down inside of yourself so you can get out of yourself. Here's how I did it. Education, right? They say it's fundamental. It's the beginning of everything. I'm that kind of person. So I read books. I asked questions. I looked at videos. I studied myself. I cried. I cried a lot. And then I got bullied. How was that? Well, I finally spoke up. I said something to someone and asked, you know, my mind tells me that I look like this when I do this. Do I look like that to you? You know, my mind said that this sounds like this and that it's really goofy. Is that true? Is that just me? And I have people around me who will tell me the truth. And some of them straight out bullied me, and some of them nice bullied me. Either way, they did what it was gonna take. See, I had to trust them because they didn't want me to look bad and they didn't want me to do bad. So I had to listen to somebody else outside of this voice until I got this thing in here straight. I had to observe myself and tell myself that the things that was coming out of my head wasn't true, so that I could develop and perform it and keep and do what I do. Even doing what I'm doing to you, talking to you guys right now, took effort and a lot of work. And I learned that there's a fine balance to this thing called life. Another quote that I came across by someone named Roy Bennett, and he wrote The Light in the Heart. It says, "The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. Other people's perception of you is a reflection of them. Your response to them is an awareness of you." So we're all swayed to some degree by our environment. We can't help but be influenced by others. If you were harmfully criticized when you were developing, when you were younger, this is going to contribute to how you feel. Because when we were young, our entire waking moments was spent being shaped by our environment. How you dressed, what you ate, your language, your vernacular, how you moved in the world came from your environment. And we couldn't help but notice the beliefs and opinions of others around us, because everyone is trying to adjust to their surroundings. And sometimes, if you're not aware, you get focused on what's out there and not listening to the inner guidance system that you were programmed with, that's going to tell you what's right for you and how you feel. It's installed in everyone. So it's really easy to lose belief in yourself by attaching to others realities that they create for you to live in. No. For me, I see this visual, this guidance system in myself. I see it like a bullseye. Now, I'm way over here somewhere, and the bullseye is straight out center. And every time I learn something, every time I do some work, I kind of ratchet myself closer to that bullseye. It's back to my center. I ask myself the questions that I need to know, and I wait for the response. I go in, I meditate. I need lots of quiet time. And I'm making a lot of strides now that I have quieted a lot of other voices that don't belong in my head and decreased access to me, to my person. That means I text a lot more than I call. That means that I'm home a lot more. I'm in quiet time, okay? So that helps me to get time to know myself. Even at my age, I need that. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. So this today, bringing this to you helped me to see and remember that our entire perception of life can come from inside of our head, our thoughts, as translated by our emotions. Changing your emotions can change your perception of what's real or what's happening all around you, which is life. Right now, everybody, each one of us, especially in this room right now, are vibrating. We're communicating to each other. We're influencing each other. But the bigger influence should be coming from inside of you, from an aware perspective, a healthy view of who you are that's not delusional. I repeat, a healthy view of who you are. Now, I don't know how or what you need to do to make adjustments for yourself, but I know we all need to make them, right? We need you. You are next best-selling author. You are a flourishing, up-and-coming comedian. You are a hottest new artist. You are a novelist. You are entrepreneurs. We need you to show up for yourself. I love you, and that's why I put myself out like this, because I love you and I want you to develop and show up for yourself. Ultimately, you are the creator of your reality. Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts you. Peace. Stick around. We'll be right back with some reactions from these beautiful minds in this room. Be right back. I'm grateful you chose to listen to Love Speaks. This segment was developed with your and my well-being in mind. Please follow me on social media. I am MLUVWALL on Facebook, as well as Live Life in the Purple on Instagram and LLITP on Twitter. Additionally, please make sure to like IBNX Radio on all social media. Hey, remember when things get tough for you and you want to give up? No pressure, no diamonds. Happy living and peace to you.
You're listening IBNX, IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get it. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio. Thank you for tuning in to the IBNXradio.com network. Stay tuned for more positive programming with M Love and Team Purple on Live Life in the Purple. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
All right. So hopefully you had a chance to think about if everything is perception, then what is real? Because these minds that we have in here are ready to go. Catherine, did you have a comment on that? On any of that? Did any of that ring true? Or am I just in my own crazy circle by myself?
No. You are not. We will join you in that circle. No, I thought that what you spoke about being in your head and the perception that you have, voices that don't help, that keep you small and keep you from seeing, showing your own light. And we all have a light to share. And I tell you, those voices that keep you in the darkness and keep you hidden under a bushel, they're hard. They're hard to lift off. And but I think it is your calling to let your light shine. So,
yeah, it's like I said, when you grow up and try to be a people pleaser, because when you were a kid, things happen if you don't get in line. Mm-hmm. So a lot of us, I know people that are really, really sensitive. Mm-hmm. They never learn to balance. You never take the reins from somebody else and assume it yourself properly, Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all imperfect. I get that.
Right.
But there's a balance that sometimes we're way to the left of. Mm-hmm. And so you never quite learn how to do you.
Yeah, get real comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
And show up that way.
Right. Instead of suppressing.
And pretending.
And that is how folks break out and do something goofy, because they just had things that needed attention that life did not afford them the chance. And they never knew. I can say, hold up a second. I need we got to do something over here.
And be accepting.
And be accepting. Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Danae Joy. What's up, beautiful? Say hello. Say hello to yourself. So what say you? I'll fix that for you.
It's one of those things where you just have to kind of be able to be vulnerable and realize, like, everybody does care to an extent of what everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? And I can attest to that, like, just growing up. I've always been nervous when it's time for me to perform. Whether it's me reciting poetry or just acting in a play, anything that had anything to do with, like, my talents, I was always afraid to display those things because of what people might say, or if somebody said it didn't sound good, or if I wasn't pretty enough, or, so I just had to get to a point where I love myself more than anything. And then you have to, once you love yourself, you get comfortable in your truth. So I can definitely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, because love isn't, to me, love should not be, if you love someone, you don't commend them 1 second and then curse them the next second.
Right. Exactly.
Right? No matter what they do, you find a way to make it okay because you love them, you care. So finding that balance for yourself is key. And I've got one more person in here that I need to get on camera because she's so dope. So what say you, Miss Poet Laura?
I think that we can be like sponges, You can choose to absorb negative energy, or you can choose to absorb positive energy. Mm-hmm. And when you absorb a lot of negative energy, it's just like a sponge, you got to wring it out.
Right.
And, I've gone through that, performing in different venues. Even in my writing, you might submit to a publisher and they're like, well, maybe if you would have just did these 20 things, But then you have to go back and look into yourself that this is one person's opinion. It's not necessarily that you're a bad writer or a bad poet or, it's that they just didn't find you to be a fit for what they were looking for.
Right.
And so I think sometimes we're all like a jigsaw puzzle. We're all trying to fit into what people want us to be. And that's good and well with certain opportunities, but if you live your life like that, you'll never truly elevate to where you should be as an individual.
Right.
Your gifts and your talents will always be molded by other people's perceptions of you.
Right.
Or negative perceptions of what you think people think about you.
Right.
So I think for me, the way that I kind of shake that off is just, my mom used to say all the time, you could do a great job and 50 people in the room could tell you how wonderful you are. But it's that one person that had something negative to say, and that's what you'll focus on the whole time. And you see it all the time on social media. People respond to the troll, but all the 100,000 people that are telling them, oh, I love you, this is a beautiful picture, they're on that troll, you know. So
yeah, we do that. I have to take a second just to ask you, was that always in you, or did you develop that through kind of the process I did, or did home do a good job of putting you out there in the world and saying, you be you?
Oh, no. It was definitely a process. It was, you know, I think it's still a process, you know.
I say that because I've just become aware. It's always been aware, but I've just become aware of the number of teenagers in this city committing suicide. And that is the one thing that makes me stop everything and want to get the biggest mic I can get, because their little egos are so fragile. And we're not even talking about public. We're just talking about in their little Snapchat chat feeds or school or whatever. When things goes awry and there's digital, you know, bullying now, people messing with you through social media, and they will take their beautiful lives before they reach what Lauren and I and everyone else in this room is, well, we are. They won't get here because they were stopped by someone else's comments and perceptions, and that's just a shame. So I got to do a little plug here for suicide awareness, because that's where my heart is. That especially the young people, check on them, look after them, encourage them. If you can't find nothing to say, but you have beautiful eyes, tell them that. Whatever you can do for them, and so that's my PSA for the day. So, yeah. I thank you guys for being open with me and chatting with us. We've got so much more to go. We got great music, fun, and just a lot of fun. Coming up next, the song that we're going to hear is a local hip-hop female rapper. You got to get into K.E. Turner. She's dope. So I think her work is out right now, but we're going to listen to Over It, and we'll be right back as we get into our first guest.
This is Key Turner, and you are listening to M Love on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNX Radio Network. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Yeah, it's a lot of things I'm over these days, man. I'm over everything sounding the same on the radio and all these unjust killings, man. It's just crazy. Gotta stop. It's Key Turner, and out of reach. Listen, I'm over being overlooked, fuck the overrated. Over being discriminated, cause I'm melanated. Over the industry for being oversaturated with rappers who have no respect for pioneers who made it possible to even do this in and cash out. Y'all get a gimmick, collect the money, and y'all mash out. I'm over reminiscing about the days when women got recognition without tapping their ass out. I'm over the over-sexualized visuals, the dark verse light skin, colorism is pitiful. I'm over the overly spiritual pastors robbing the sheep, got them giving up money for a miracle. Over being underpaid at a job with no room to grow, and not having enough dough to run my own show. I'm over shut doors, so I'ma take the keys like my name was Swizz and get it overseas and get cheese. And for that I would not conform and dumb it down just because it's your new norm. I'm sticking to my guns, blasting my sound, and pitching to like a circus, cause I'm over these clowns. You know who you're dealing with. It's Key Turner, queen with the dunamis. Nothing lay down my crown. Y'all better be afraid. You know who you're dealing with. Key Turner. Y'all better be afraid. Overly medicated, this generation's sedated. Zandy raps overplayed, y'all, let's terminate it. You think I overstated? Have I said it enough? Not even close when your fam's in comas over the stuff. You think I'm overly tough? I'm just getting my games. Imagine how much I press it when I'm feeling no strains. You think I'm steroid popping, how I'm pushing the train without it now being broken. Yes, King overcame the politics and not being treated the same. I'm over the bullshit, so I'm making my own lane. Where there is no limit, and I can bolt like thunder with a lot over my head, but trust it won't take me under. beats what I've been through. Stay consistent, cooler than an igloo. Didn't do it for ice or a red bottom shoe. Stay true to the art, now my time's come. It's overdue. You know who you're dealing with. You keep turning. Queen with the rudiment. Nothing laid down my crown. Y'all better be afraid. You know who you're dealing with. Keep turning. Y'all better be afraid.
Hi, this is your girl Camila. I am hanging with M Love and Team Purple on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Thank you so much for choosing positivity as your vehicle today. We thank you so much. We hope that we know you're going to enjoy the show because we always scour the vibes for the people that are on our frequency. And this person came on my frequency, and I never forgot. I don't forget a lot of things that are unseen. I capture stuff that's unseen, and I captured her vibe from when I saw her. In the Love Speaks, if you were present, I talked about being at a poetry venue and getting out. And I've written for years, but getting in front of people was so hard. So when I decided to try my hand at poetry, I started getting out, and I would go in these poetry venues, and it was very, very, very intimidating. You see people there, they had no words, they didn't have their phone or anything, and they were just going. I'm like, oh, wow, and here I am with my notebook, and it was embarrassing because you didn't know. So the host of these events set the tone. They set the energy, and some of them are really, really good at it, and doing that, and some of them are really, really good at making new people feel welcome. And that is a gift. And so our guest, Lauren Doriana, is a local poet here to Atlanta. She was one of those guest hosts at this venue I went to, and she didn't know my knees were shaking or whatever else, but her reaction and just welcoming and just come on up was very important to me, and I thank you for that. And I didn't realize I would get that chance to do that because I didn't have a show. Right. So y'all got to give some love to this woman here, Lauren Doriana. She is not only an accomplished poet, but a writer. I love how you have poured yourself out into young people. We talked about that before. But give us just a little bit about you.
Well, first off, I'm so humbled to hear that. And thank you, for letting me be on the show today. Poetry has been just a wonderful journey for me, especially being in Atlanta, which is like a vibrant city and it's growing, and the arts and, entertainment here has just been wonderful. So I've had so many wonderful opportunities, so many wonderful people. One of the listeners on my feed right now is Lady V, the poet. Which
oh, yes. Yes, ma'am. They'll be here next week.
Oh, wonderful. And just as you said, I remember going to her venues and being so nervous and going to where I used to host. I think probably you're referring to Urban Grind. I hosted there from 2011.
I met you, though, at Marley's.
At Marley's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I met you at Marley's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And shout out to Marley's. I miss Marley's. Wonderful coffee house that was near
Family
Georgia State. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember hosting at Urban Grind from 2011 to 2016. Wow. And before I hosted, I used to go there all the time. That was sort of my getaway from work on every Thursday. Shout out to Cassandra. She owns Urban Grind. And John Good, who's a very, internationally known poet, he used to host. And he always gave out such a welcoming vibe. And at the end of every show, he would play the theme to the Golden Girls. And so, it was such a good vibe. That was one of the people that I kind of modeled myself after when I started hosting, to make sure that regardless if you're a vet, a person who's very experienced, or you're a person who has written, your very first poem and want to get up and share it. Because you never know what's behind someone's smile. You never know what people have gone through. I've heard stories. Another friend of mine hosted there, and he said that one of the poets that performed that night came up to him and said, you know, I'm so glad I came here and you were so kind to me because I was going to take my own life after this.
Wow.
So, you know, and him just encouraging her and giving her positive energy. And so that's something that I think that we all should try to practice in our daily lives is, you know, just be kind. Sometimes you feel bad, but you never know the impact of your words on people.
That's right. And your beautiful smile.
Thank you.
The other, where I connected, I always say, I talk to people long enough to find out where we intersect, where we connect, because that's where the magic is. There's so many differences. Who cares about differences? How about let's focus on sameness? The thing that I love about your work is your references to family. Mm-hmm. And you did that so beautifully. I'm a soul who loves older people, too. And one of my favorite piece is when you talk about, was it Dirty Feet?
As far as family, probably my grandfather.
It was a song, it was a poem you wrote called?
It was just a tribute to my grandfather. It's actually untitled.
Untitled? Okay.
I never gave it a title, and the reason I did that, I just couldn't think of one word to really describe the emotion I felt, because I do storytelling poetry.
Yeah.
So it's more like, you know, the idea is to take the listener through kind of his shoes and his journey through my eyes, you know, and so that's probably what you're talking about. I've done a tribute to my grandfather and a tribute to my grandmother, and then I do have other pieces that mention family.
That's crazy. I do the same thing.
I love family. Family is, my mom used to tell, I have one brother, and she used to tell us all the time, at the end of the day, y'all got, you know.
Yeah, that's not really what you want to hear sometimes when you see.
Right, when they get on your nerves.
Oh, man. Right.
But yeah, you know, family is so important to me.
That's good. I want to talk about your other work, but before I do that, I'm in the mood for poetry. We done got all this talking about poetry. So if you don't mind, I did ask beforehand. Didn't I? For a poem?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Trying to get you up here because I want to get you on. Yeah, I want to get you on Instagram Live with this one, so they can see what they're missing. I got Loriana.
My name is so hard.
Lauren Doriana in the house, and she's going to do a piece for us.
Okay.
Y'all enjoy.
All right. Well, like she said, this poem is a tribute piece to my grandfather. It's officially untitled, but I call it Lost. My grandfather had tremors in his hands. His hands would often shake. And I was my grandfather's shadow. I used to follow him around wherever he went. They say the greatest form of flattery is imitation. And one day we were at the dinner table, and I looked at him and I said, "Grandfather, pass me the rolls." And when he put the basket into my hands, I began to shake my hands as well. I looked at him and smiled. Rolls were flying everywhere. He didn't say a word, just looked at me and said, "Pass the butter." 20 years later, I found myself at my grandfather's same table. We were playing cards. I was losing. And he was sipping on his favorite spirit, Old Crow. And I looked at my grandfather while I was popping my gum, and I said, "Granddad, I feel lost." And my grandfather looked at me and said, "Lost? What do you mean?" "You know, lost." He said, "Define lost." I said, "The opposite of found." He said, "Interesting." He said, "Lost. Lost like the year being 1944, headed to the beach on Normandy on a boat with soldiers that are your compadres but also strangers, while bullets whiz past your head, while you hold your helmet firmly pulled down, not knowing if it's going to save your life or fail. And days later being in a foxhole with those same soldiers, but you're the only survivor, praying that you make it out. Baby girl, if that is the type of loss that you are referring to, who would have known that you and we are on the same page?" And then he said, "Lost. Lost like sending your whole paycheck home to your mother so she can know what it's like to have the first running bathroom she's ever known. No more outhouse for her. But you have to sacrifice and sew up the holes in the dirty socks of fellow soldiers from New York that call you country slow. Well, I'll tell you about country slow while I take your dough. If that is the loss that you are talking about, then who would have guessed? Baby girl, you and I are here, or lost like coming back to your small town in Milledgeville, only to leave 3 weeks later because a white woman told you were too handsome in your suit, and she smiled at you. And you ain't survived the war to be hung up into some tree because of some ignorance. Or lost like opening the door to your very first home in Detroit, only days later to have a few discouraging young men throw trash on your lawn, look at you, laugh, and say, nigga, go home. And you point your rifle, point it at them and say, get out of here, but knowing better than to pull that trigger. If that is the loss that you are talking about, then sweetheart, you and I, we are here. By this time, I began to shake. My tears were running down my face, and my grandfather said, you don't know anything about being lost. And I'm so glad that you don't. Because if your loss and my loss are the same, then that means that times ain't changed that much. Sitting on the back of a bus from the war, no ticker tape parades or tales of glory days, just Jim Crow, and told that you are a boy when you are a 20-something-year-old man who pays his own bills. See, sister, I know what your loss is. Your loss is that you went to that fancy school your parents sent you to, and you didn't land that $100,000 job year with your one solid year of experience right after you got your degree. But if you really want to find your truth, open up your Bible, look in the pages of Ruth, and understand that you don't have to be lost. You can be found, and the key is right there on your knees. At this time, I didn't know what to say. My grandfather held up his cards and said, we gonna play or you gonna babysit? I threw down my card. He looked at me, smiled, took his foot, tapped me on the bottom of mine, and took my money and said, now this is the type of loss I can get used to. Thank you, y'all.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice. I'm snapping in a circle. Snapping in a circle. I love it. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. I appreciate that so much. I was, again, my head, right? I was everywhere he was in that poem. I was in the foxhole. I was everywhere with that. It was very alive, very vibrant. Thank you. What did you guys think? Ooh. I know Catherine loves poetry.
Oh man, I'm just tranced out. That was really, really beautiful.
Thank
you. The details and you captured it from a child's perspective, from an old man's perspective, and you tell it in the now. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
You're sharing your grandfather with everybody, because if you are, like me, I want your granddaddy now. That kind of wisdom. I want that kind of wisdom.
He loved you.
Yes.
Yes, we were very, I understood him. He had, gosh, I'm grandchildren. Oh, they're going to kill me if I get this wrong, but about 7. But we were pretty close. He was close to all of them, but he passed away in 2014. Mm-hmm. And he lived in Michigan, which is where I'm from. And so my mom, God bless her soul, she's just a wonderful person, was a nurse, was able to bring him down here, and him and my father took care of him the last few months of his life.
Beautiful.
It was tough, but, seeing him go from a very strong man and then kind of being feeble. But, God is amazing, and I was so glad that we were able to honor him in that way at the end, that he didn't pass or die alone.
Yeah. Did he hear this poem?
He never heard this poem.
Oh.
But I know
so
he.
Happy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Listening from above.
Yeah,
Yes.
because what people want to know is that they affected someone.
Right.
That they caused change. They caused you to think. And so poetry is a great way to do that. You have worked with young people. Mm-hmm. How is that?
Well, Tika is a journey. That's called Teens Igniting Change Association. And I started it, we had a different name in the beginning. It was Teens Expression.
I know, I'm like...
ATL, that was the name of it. And that was way back in 2011. And I was just very passionate about it. I have a friend that we've known each other since high school. She had a very tumultuous home life. She had a daughter when we were 15. I'm not going to tell my age, but she had a daughter when we were 15. But I was her child's godmother. And so she had no money, to go to college, but she was a brilliant kid. I remember sometimes tutoring her, and I'm like, okay, you got 100 math problems. You need to have this done by the end of the day, and she would get them done like in 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Very smart. Was tutoring seniors when she was like a sophomore. Wow. And so I was like, this is a kid that deserves to go to school. And so I started helping her get scholarships. And so by the end of it, she was a Cope Scholar, a Posse Scholar, a Horatio Alger Scholar, all these prestigious recipient of all these scholarships. So I think when at her graduation, she was the key speaker. She had $200,000 in scholarships.
Wow. That's beautiful. You help facilitate. I mean, that's the kind of vibe that we want to have. And that is just beautiful. That's part of your legacy.
And what's so amazing about it, and I tell people, you can help our kids. Her mom did not graduate from high school. Her mother was working at McDonald's, and her mother has 5 other children. So for her, who they said, you are going to end up with 80 kids yourself, and, all these negative things, even people in her own family were telling her, the odds are against you. I felt that it was not just, I just prayed on it. I knew it was God telling me work with her. And so she's in college now. She was in New York, but she transferred to Georgia State. So she's in her last year, and I'm so proud of her. And,
that's something to say.
Yeah, she wants to go into the Peace Corps and give back. And what I started to do with Tika started off being like a project for her to do community service. And once she left for college, I took it over. And so we did a lot of teen open mics, but they weren't just, for poets. We would have them at Central Library a lot of the time, and anyone could get up there.
Right.
No matter your skill level. I didn't like the concept of talent showcase. I think there's too much competition. Just get up there, get it out, practice before you come. But, they would dance. We used to have break dancers come. We used to have singers. We had a gentleman who was like a freshman in college. He came and played the piano and played the guitar. We had a young man DJ. We had so many different talent levels. And when I say the poetry community was just so supportive, there would be just poets coming in. Some of them didn't even have children, just there to root the children on and to support them and talk to them afterwards. And then we did some scholarship workshops, and I helped another poet get some scholarships for his daughter.
That's amazing. I want to have kids just so you can help them get to school.
It's a lot of work. I felt like I was back in high school when we were doing these scholarships. My gosh, they make you work for them. But at the end of it, when you see that smile, when you're getting that check, and I'm like this, like, yeah, yeah. And some of her bullies were there at graduation. I'm like, who's the bully? She's like, Lauren,
calm down.
Chill out. We made it. It's not the time to beat up the bullies, but it was definitely a great experience. Awesome. And so my goal is to make it into a complete nonprofit. I had some life changes happen, but in 2016, that's where I was moving towards. We had a GoFundMe, but it's never too late. Never. So my goal this year is to make it to official nonprofit with board and volunteers and expanding it even out further with workshops, because I think our young men need it so much now.
They all do.
All of them, the young women too.
You've given us a lot, and the rest of the show is so funny. The rest of the show, our positive news segment, has a lot of give back in it too. So this whole show has a spirit. All of the shows do kind of have a thread, invisible, that comes together at the right time. You've been listening to Lauren, L-A-U-R-E-N, Lauren Doriana. I'm not even going to attempt the last name spelling, but find her on social media. And keep up with what she's doing. You definitely want to be a part of it, because if you love to give and if you love family and good people, this is good people. She's hanging out with us. She's going to be here in a little bit. We got so much more for you guys. So we're taking a quick break and coming back. We've got History Speaks with Rodney Williams. And, Live Life in the Purple on IBNXradio.com network.
Thank you for tuning in to the IBNXradio.com network. Stay tuned for more positive programming with M Love and Team Purple on Live Life in the Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
If you're not listening to Word of Mind Radio, then you're seriously missing out. Hosts Trey Grizzy and Nine Ether share their perspectives on everything from social issues that affect our communities to relationships and trends that affect us all. Guaranteed to teach you something new. Word of Mind is engaging.
The only way that we can do this is do it together. So I love you.
We all love you for sharing.
Empowering.
Somebody dropped the ball somewhere because we want our kids to forget the struggles that we went through. But the struggles that we went through is what got us to where we are now.
And definitely entertaining.
You know, she probably got one of them wholesome names like Gertrude, but back in the day they called her Gertie. They called her
Dirty Gertie.
Dirty Gertie. Flirty Gertie. You know what I mean?
Oh, y'all are horrible.
Yeah.
Tune in and learn up every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on IBNX Radio.
Greetings. This is Rodney Williams, educator, social activist. I'm one of the original members of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense out of Oakland, California. Welcome to my segment, History Speaks. Inventor Joseph Hawkins, he received a patent for an improved gridiron, a wrought iron type of utensil that's used for boiling food. His gridiron included a trough, to catch the fats and the liquid that drip from the meat while cooking. We use those today. Another inventor, Thomas J. Martin, he was awarded a patent for the improved fire extinguisher that attached to a reservoir of stored water and it was used to spray burning fire. America's first all-black professional and all-black-owned, African-American-owned basketball team, the New York Renaissance, the Rens basketball team, as they were formed there in Harlem. Oakland, California, McClymonds High School's own Bill Russell was named coach of the Boston Celtics, becoming the first African-American to coach an NBA team. He said, I wasn't offered the job because I'm Negro. I was offered the job because the owner, Red Auerbach, figured I could do the job. That's Bill Russell. After only 2 years as head coach, Carolyn Peck became the first African-American woman to win a women's NCAA basketball final when she coached the Purdue Boilermakers to a victory over the Duke's Blue Devils. The first time ever in professional tennis history that sibling sisters, Venus and Serena Williams, faced each other in a tennis championship final at the Lipton Championship there. Another inventor, W.J. Ballo, was awarded a patent for the combined hat rack and table, a precursor to the folding table and ironing board. Founded by 5 African-American women, the 5 Pearls at Howard University, the historically black Greek-lettered sorority Zeta Phi Beta was incorporated there in Washington, D.C. The Pulitzer Board at Columbia University awarded Toni Morrison for her controversial novel, Beloved. In responding to earlier protests, the board secretary, Robert Christopher, wrote, it would be unfortunate if anyone dilutes the value of Toni Morrison's achievement by suggesting that her prize rested on anything but merit. And finally, way back in the day, addressing the Senate Armed Forces Committee as head of his organization, the League for Nonviolent Civil Disobedience Against Military Segregation, Arthur Philip Randolph, told that committee that we're going to encourage our young blacks to resist induction using nonviolent civil disobedience if segregation and discrimination are not ended. 4 months later, in July, President Truman signed and issued the Executive Order 981 that banned forever racial segregation in the U.S. Armed Forces. Finally, this segment's going to conclude marking the passing of Harlem Renaissance sculptor and educator Augusta Savage, the only black United States war correspondent during World War II. He authored several books, including From Superman to Man and 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof. Joel Augustus, J.A. Rogers, First African-American state legislator, a member of FDR's Black Cabinet, Ms. Crystal Fawcett. A mentor to Martin Luther King Jr., former president of Morehouse College, minister, educator, scholar, and social activist, Benjamin E. Mays. Hall of Fame blues composer, musician, teacher, and band leader, William Christopher W. Candy, father of the blues. He died.
Thank you for listening to History Speaks. We're certain that you found this information valuable. You can find me on social media at Rodney Williams on Facebook. And please keep listening each week as we bring you more facts about our history. Remember, if you don't know where you came from, you aren't going to know where you're going. This is Rodney Williams, educator and social activist. You're listening to Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Hi, this is Robbie Riegel, and you're listening to M Love and Live Life in the Purple. Positivity is a movement, baby.
Live Life in the Purple is here to entertain, educate, and inform you, our listeners. We are so grateful that you chose to be part of the Purple Energy today. And guess what? We're only halfway through the show. Please stay with us for more in the second hour, with music being the key part of our show. Our monthly segment, Industry Speaks, with Sean Bailey, CEO and Creative Director of Zyla Music Publishing, is coming up. He will be answering questions from our in-house independent artist, Danae Joy. Plus, there will be more information, discussion, and of course, positivity. Stay with us and continue enjoying the purple vibes of Live Life in the Purple on IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome to Positive News, a place to hear the news that brings a smile, focuses on accomplishments, and sheds light on positivity in our world.
Do you remember riding your bicycle at a young age? There is a feeling of freedom and joy that comes with riding a bike, plus a feeling of ownership and belonging that comes with having a bicycle. Some may even consider this a childhood entitlement, owning and riding a bicycle. Well, for some, that presented a problem, and that is how an organization called Going Places got started. The owner and executive director, founder of this organization, her name is Katie Bloomquist. She started a GoFundMe campaign in the spring of 2016 when she and a little boy from her first grade class were out for his birthday, picking out some birthday gifts, and he asked her for a bike. It shocked her that he didn't have, nor had he ever had a bike. Being a teacher, she could not afford to buy him one. But it got her thinking about how many other kids in her class, our school, didn't have a bike either. And it was something that she just couldn't get off her mind. And it really bothered her knowing that so many kids were going out without the memory of a joy that owning a bike brings. So she couldn't just buy one bike for one kid. She didn't want to leave anyone out. She wanted to get all 650 students in her school a brand new, high-quality bike. So she started a GoFundMe. And soon, an affordable local Charleston bike shop immediately jumped on board, and together they custom named and picked out bike colors. Now, she works at a Title I school. If you don't know what that means, it's usually in areas where, like depressed areas or low-income areas, Title I schools, and the kids aren't like going to be from middle-class areas. So when they got home, these kids have real stress that starts. They live in undesirable and unpredictable circumstances, some of them, and they can't even temporarily get themselves out of that environment. But for a kid, a bike give these children the opportunity to have a sense of freedom and escape. They can have a sense of ownership, something that's theirs. Some kids don't even have their own bed. So having a bike, she felt, was fundamental. She didn't realize how this would take off. The campaign went viral. Almost every news station in the nation wrote stories about it, including Steve Harvey Show and all these different places. Oh, and Live Life in the Purple on IBNXRadio.com network. So it was a tremendous success, this campaign, and it took off more than she expected. So she actually made a decision at the end of the 2016-2017 school year to leave teaching to run Going Places full-time. So that's just an example of people in the community seeing an issue, seeing a problem, and stepping in to solve it. Catherine?
Okay, positive news story. What does it take to be an entrepreneur? And where does that spirit come from? Do we learn it in school? And how old should someone be to consider a business and to make money doing that business? Well, local Atlanta CBS News reported that in Athens, an 8th grader named Bo Shell has been in business for himself since he was 8 years old. See, Bo loved ice cream and determined others must love it too. So his business began with a mobile ice cream stand in Athens, and since then he has blossomed to his own money-making business he named Lil Ice Cream Dude. He has raised $15,000 for charity in the past. And recently, Bo accepted a fundraising challenge that was quite meaningful. Taylor Richardson is an advocate for the STEM organization that supports encouraging, inspiring girls to go into and study science, technology, engineering, and math. Ms. Richardson put out a GoFundMe challenge to raise money to offer girls the chance to go and see the powerful, inspiring movie A Wrinkle in Time. And then she issued the challenge to the community to do the same. So it was this challenge that Bo Shell responded to. Using his ice cream stand to raise the money, Bo was able to raise $5,000, which he used to allow 100 girls chosen by local Athens, Georgia teachers to go see the movie. Bo felt it was important for girls to see an empowering and inspiring movie that was about girls. As a young entrepreneur, he is already in the spirit of giving and supporting causes that are in his community. So kudos and shout out to Bo Shell for his civic-minded efforts and his support for his local community. Bo is still moving forward on his business ventures, and his ice cream shop is set to open in Athens on April 14th.
That's impressive. That's really cool. That's really cool.
We hope that you enjoyed positive news and that the stories put a smile on your face. We here at Live Life in the Purple encourage you to be inspired to create your own positive news in the world. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
What's up, world? It's your girl, M Love, host of Live Life in the Purple, this fabulous energy that comes to you every Tuesday from 2 to 4 on the IBNXradio.com network. Let me tell you who's in the room. To my left.
Hi, this is Marilyn Pierce, and I am the host of the segment Authors Speak, where we learn about authors and their journeys to entrepreneurism. And to my left, I have...
Hey, hello? Is this on? What's up, man? This your boy, Only One Tippy, associate producer with Live Life in the Purple, every Tuesday from 2 to 4.
And we do this every week because positivity is a movement, baby.
What's up? This is Yo Sister. I Live Life in the Purple with M Love and Team Purple on IBNXradio.com network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Yes, it is the movement. And to keep things moving, I have a little black bag. Now, in this little black bag is questions about your financial status. No, it's not. In here, something I would love to get your opinion on. Now, it's called Speak On It. So all you do is reach in there and pull one out and read it. And if you don't like what it says or you're like, I can't answer that, pass it to the left. Catherine has to answer it. Okay.
I'm the last stop.
So first up is our Indie Artist Spotlight of the Month, Miss Danae Joy. Reach in there and tell us what you think.
Uh-oh. All right.
If all else fails, disavow. Read it out loud.
Okay. Confidence is not they will like me. Confidence is I'll be fine if they don't. I can definitely speak on that. once again, like I said, just going back to performing, I've always been very critical of myself, like just super critical of myself. And there's times where I think I did horrible and people will tell me, no, you did amazing. Like, did you hear yourself? So it's definitely just being vulnerable. Again, it's that vulnerability. Mm-hmm. It's letting somebody know, like, this is me, okay? And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but, you know, so this is true to life. This is big facts right here.
I know. I love that when I saw it because, again, that's something I had to work on.
Right.
You know, I had confidence at home, but out there in the unknown, ooh, you know, kind of hang back. But, again, you've got to make bold moves if you're going to pursue anything of worth. Yeah. Right? So you got to have confidence. You got to pull it up from somewhere.
Right.
Maya Angelou said, take all your ancestors in the room with you. Walk in there. And people will wonder, like, wow, who is that? Because you're not alone. Right?
And nothing easy is worth having. So, you know what I mean? You have to go through those trials and tribulations. And that's when whatever the goal is that you're trying to achieve is going to mean something to you. It's going to be of significance. So
I like that.
Yeah.
She's intelligent and talented. Y'all will get to hear about that in a little bit. But I need to get Lauren's opinion on what's in the little black bag.
Let's see her.
I wadded it up real good.
Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. Wow. Okay, I could definitely speak on that because I have held on to things. I think we all hold on to the past a lot. And so I think sometimes when you hold on to too much of your past, and you can either let your past make you or break you. You can let bad experiences from your past mold you into a better person because now you're like, okay, you fooled me once, shame on you. Or even from your own perspective, I did that wrong once, I'm not going to do it again. Right. Or you can always use that as, it didn't work out back then, so I can't do this now. So I do. I think it's the scale. What do they call the scale where you have the two?
Yeah.
You know, it's hanging there.
In the balance.
Yeah, it's hard to get it to that point. But I think that that's something I struggle with sometimes. Yeah. But you know, you keep pushing forward.
That's it.
You can't keep looking back or you'll get ran down.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Thank you so much. So folks, you guys see the wonderful energy that we have in the room today. It's amazing the talent these women have, or as well as their intellect. So there is more than one reason that you need to connect with them and support them as well. We are going to continue on. Are we talking to Catherine, or we've got Sean? Yeah? We have a beautiful soul in the room. You've heard from Danae Joy. Tell us just a quick little bit about yourself, Danae.
Of course. Well, my first name is Danae. My middle name is Joy. So I actually put that together and made that my stage name. So it's the real name. It's as authentic as it can get. I grew up in a music background. I am a child actress. My dad was in a gospel quartet, so I've grown up around music. And I've always knew that I could sing. But as far as the songwriting piece, I really just started writing poems in a private school, and then it just elevated from there.
Wow, starting with poetry. So if I could carry a tune, I could take my poetry and sing it too?
I think most definitely, because you're still doing the same thing. It's just a different format of it. But we're all telling stories. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think so.
I want you, we're going to introduce your other song, your main song, across the room, but we're going to play one of your songs, Love Song.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're getting ready for that, guys. This is Danae Joy, and I'm going to say it again later, but I have to, before I forget, shout out to DJ J. Erica. Yeah, I need to look her up as DJTakeover.com, DEEJAY, takeover.com for this hookup and getting this beautiful soul in our trajectory so we can let the world know about her music. So without further ado, we're going to hear Love Song from Danae Joy.
This is Danae Joy. You are listening to M Love on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNextRadio.com network. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Tell nobody, I don't want them to know. See, we can take things fast, or we can take things slow. But if you gotta go, then baby, there's the door. I'm not gonna make you stay, cause this is not your home. Yes, you can f***ing go, you can f***ing go. You don't gotta stay for long, you don't gotta stay for long. This isn't a love song. You don't gotta stay for long, baby, you can go. This isn't a love song. This isn't a love song. This isn't a love song. You don't gotta stay for long, don't know what you're waiting for. This isn't a love song. I know you wanna stay, ain't got no time for lanes. If you wanna play, then baby come this way. I'll drive you insane. The loving that we make has me stuck on your brain, has me all on your brain. You don't gotta stay for long, you don't gotta stay for long. This isn't a love song. You don't gotta stay for long, baby, you can go. This isn't a love song. This isn't a love song. This isn't a love song. You don't gotta stay for long, don't know what you're waiting for. This isn't a love song.
This is Sean Bailey of Xyla Music Publishing. 29 years of music entertainment experience, collaborated with clients such as Eddie LeVert Jr., Big Daddy Kane, super producer Dave Hall, and the daughter of the late legendary Ray Charles, Robin La Jolla Charles. I've worked with two of the biggest music labels in the industry, Warner Brother Records and Sony Music Epic. And now I'm here to explain how infiltration can sometimes work better than integration. I'm Sean B., and it's time to talk about the P word. It's my segment, Industry Speaks, Living Life in the Purple, on IBNX Radio.
That's right, live right now. It's time for Industry Speaks. Sean Bailey is on the line, and we are here listening to his wisdom because our guest, Danae Joy, has a new single out, new songs out.
Yes.
Is it a whole EP?
Well, the EP's not out yet. The entire project is actually going to be on all your major streaming websites in about 5 days. So,
right.
yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you to get some more information from Sean. You've got one of the brightest minds in the business out there right now on the phone listening to you, so y'all go right on ahead.
Hi, Sean.
You're too kind. You're too kind. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
The Purple family. I'm good.
That's
I'm good. Okay, so you're a new artist. This is your first time out commercially,
right?
Okay. So, what would you like to know as far as being a new artist?
Oh man, there's so many things that I want to know. I don't think we have enough time for that, Sean.
There's always time. We can make time for you, but we got a solution for that.
Yes, but I definitely would like to know from you and your intelligence and your experience, what are 3 things that you think a new artist should know when they're embarking on this music journey?
1, you have very few friends.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2, it's nothing but hard work and dedication and passion. You need those 3 things. And the last thing is, and the most important thing, know the business.
Okay. Okay.
Was that good for you?
That's great for me. That's great. That's confirmation. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, let me ask you this. The things that I said, did you know of the things that I said before I said them?
Yes, I don't know to like the fullest extent of knowing, but it's funny that you're saying these things because I'm going through them now, you know? So, especially in regards to the friends, in regards to getting more familiar with the business side of it, because that's the most important part. That's how you get paid. So, yeah, I'm definitely learning that. And then just hard work. I mean, I've always been a hard worker, so music and lyrics is my passion. That's it.
Okay. Well, what was the next question?
Yeah,
and
so...
Then and then we can get to the nitty-gritty.
Cool. So my next question would be, how would you say that someone is able to create a career of longevity in regards to music? What do you think are the steps to make that happen?
I would say that would lead from me saying have great passion and love for what you do. Without that being your core base of why you're doing what you're doing, you won't have a career.
Okay.
You definitely won't have a career. Let me ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
I'm doing this because this is what I was born to do. I would say that I'm a bit prophetic. I've had dreams about it since the age of 5. I've sung Toni Braxton's "On Break My Heart" since the age of 5. Wow. So, and then when I sing my actual songs with the lyrics that I've written, when I actually realized that there was a gift there, was when I was just about to graduate college, and I started to perform the songs that I've written for the first time to like general population, and people were crying or teary-eyed, and they were just like, you know, you're really good, like you should perform more. And that's when my aha moment came, and I was like, okay, God, I got it. This is what I'm gonna do. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you again. Why are you doing it?
Because I love it.
Okay.
This is what I was destined to do. It's my passion.
So now I'm going to go into the career part. And I say this a lot to my clients who I talk to, and then the people who come on this show. Mm-hmm. In order to have a great career, and this is my opinion, but my opinion, I believe, holds very true. Mm-hmm. It holds strong. I feel that you need to have something where you need to concentrate on giving something. Mm-hmm. What are you giving? How are you helping? Besides you being beautiful and your voice is beautiful and you sound great, why do you feel that you need to do music? And what is it going to do for the people who you encounter? This is a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. It was a rhetorical question. You can answer it if you want, but I'm going to say this: music is a great tool. Mm-hmm. You need to know how to utilize it to affect people, but it's not enough if it doesn't have a mission behind it, and if it doesn't have something that could help other people get through. So maybe, get through something, but it has to be attached to, how the service.
Right.
What service do you feel you can give to the people?
I will answer that, even though it's rhetorical. And what I can say about it is that there was a quote that I read that you'd never forget the footprints of the people that have touched your life. And what I found that the service that I give back is, I feel like music gave so much to me, it saved my life at times, because there were times where I'd just be very low down and I'd hear some lyrics that I could personally relate to, that I knew that I went through, and that's what I found that my niche is, that I have a way with words and I'm able to touch people in places that they haven't spoken about in a long time, or they can listen to it and say, I remember this time when I was going through that. And that's to me, that's my way of giving back. That's my way of saying thank you to music. It brought me out of so much depression, and that's what I want to do. That's the way that I want to connect with people, to let them know that you're not alone.
I want you to grab onto that, and I want you to develop that into everything that you do. And that's how you're going to withstand the test of time.
Okay.
And make a career out of it, because it really doesn't have anything to do with the music per se. It has everything to do with your drive on why.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you connect the why, you're dead on with what your purpose and your mission is, and people will see it clear.
Right.
Again, like I always say, the music is just a product.
Mm-hmm.
It's a item on the shelf, but you have so many facets to you. You need to explore that and put that into your presentation.
Okay.
And people, I guarantee you, because one day, I may not want a song.
Mm-hmm.
So if I walk into your store and I don't want a song, and that's all you have on the shelf, guess what I'm doing? I'm walking out.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have as many items of you on the shelf, because I may want that poem you may have. I may want a voice lesson. I don't know. I need to know the facets of you to give you, some good parts of what I'm trying to, tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to take yourself and spread yourself out in your store.
Okay.
And give a lot of different pieces of you in different ways to touch different people all the time, because music may not be your saving grace financially.
Right.
So you need a backup, but you need something that's you.
Mm-hmm.
That you may introduce that person to the next song, and it's all interconnecting. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
I want to do this. She's got their single that they're releasing is Across the Room, and I'm so glad, because when I asked the publicist, I was like, which song they're pushing, and she was like, Across the Room. I was like, that's the one I want. That's my favorite. So I'm glad. So Sean, we're gonna pause a second, and we're gonna let the folks hear Across the Room so they can put it all together. This voice, you've heard Love Song, but this is a different sound for you. This is more upbeat.
Yes.
Yeah. So introduce that for us and tell us who it's featuring, and then we're gonna come back and let you finish that with Sean. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, love bugs. You're listening to M Love on Live Life in the Purple. I want you guys to check out my new single, Across the Room, featuring Renzo Bands.
I just wanna dance, but everybody in the club so texting on their phones. Well, I think that's really crazy.
night chilling with my crew. Me and you, we could do what you wanna do. Grinding on the dick, baby, do what it do. Can't take my eyes off you. Feeling on my body like you know me. Baby girl, number one, you my trophy. Got me into the feeling like it was a goalie. Gripping on your waist while you moving slowly. Back to forward to back, yeah. Ease your mind, you're right on time, yeah. Want you grind for me. Baby girl, want you grind for me, yeah.
Across the room, across the room, me and you. I just can't deny it. You get me excited. From across the room, me and you. I just can't deny it. You should come try it. Across the room.
Saturday night and I really wanna shake it. Eyes on me, it's just like you see me naked. Move to the left, move to the right, vibes right. I'ma get you lost tonight.
And as we move to the floor, you know I'ma put on the show. I'ma rock the boat, rock the boat. Work the middle, just a little. Tryna have a private party with your body. Moving on your wood, yeah, I feel the excitement. Everybody wants my body, but my body's wanting you. Everybody wants my party, but the party's here with you. Stick your key into my ignition. Let go of all your inhibitions. Across the room, me and you. I just can't deny it. You get me excited. From across the room, me and you. I just can't deny it. You should come try it. Across the room.
Hey, that was nice. This was Club IBNX for a couple of seconds right there. How you like that, Sean?
Your voice is incredible.
Thank you.
You have one of those voices that it affects the soul. It really do. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it was. I don't know if you was hearing me. I was like,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we heard you.
You know, really quickly. Do you have a team that's working with you?
I do have a team, yes. I do.
Okay. And you have management, of course.
I don't have a manager, actually.
Great. You don't need one yet. And your other team, what are their positions?
So I have he's not necessarily my manager, but he just helps with a lot of things as far as shows, photography, promo stuff. And then my DJ is, I have an in-house producer that basically makes the majority of my beats.
Okay.
And then I have a publicist too.
Yeah, keep that team tight. Like I always say, really concentrate on the business plan about really what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Your type of voice, please expand yourself outside of just rhythm and blues, because you have that voice, and just try different things, different genres, because that's going to expand your market and expand the music buyers, meaning, film, commercials, advertising. You don't want to be caught just in a box. You definitely have a voice to expand.
Wow, thank you so much. That means so much coming from you. So, thank
Okay.
you.
And definitely for you as an artist, delegate what you need to delegate, but know what you're delegating. And learn as much as you can.
Okay.
Learn as much as you can. Like I always tell everyone, if there's a question that you would like to know as far as business, how mechanically things operate in the background, you need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be an expert, but you need to know the gist of it, because it's gonna help you save a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of headache.
Okay. Sean, we got your 188 number ready?
Oh yeah. My 188 number is 1-888-712-9995, and you can also reach me at xylamusicpub@gmail.com.
And that's for any of our listeners. If you want fair, honest, expert help, contact Sean. I just love him. And thank you so much, Sean, for making yourself available for us. Go make us some more money, and keep doing what you do.
I want that record, so please reach out to me.
Most definitely. I got you. It's coming.
Thank you so much. And that is Industry Speaks with Sean Bailey. Y'all look him up.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get it. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Need to catch up on past episodes? No problem. Live Life in the Purple is on Mixcloud and now on iHeartRadio. Choose your favorite way to enjoy Live Life in the Purple because positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Hi, this is Vera. I'm hanging with M Love and Team Purple on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Hi, this is Lauren Doriana, and you are listening to M Love on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNX Radio Network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Yes, it is a movement, and we have been moving this Tuesday. Amazing things are happening. My heart is beating fast, and I'm just so excited. I love when good things happen. That was a great interview. We have had a blast. We have had a blast today. I've been very honored. But I would be remiss if I didn't do two things. Number one, I need to tell you that the person that facilitated Danae Joy here is a good friend, and she's a female DJ. That's right, female DJ. Not only that, two-time award-nominated Fleet DJ, table manners DJ, and business entrepreneur. So y'all give some love to DEEJAY, takeover.com, DJ Takeover. And also, I'm going to put some stuff up about her because I need you to let the world know about her as well. She's nominated. Vote for her for being a great DJ. But this weekend, Catherine and I did something really amazing. We got a couple of minutes, and I want her to tell you really, really kind of quickly about it.
Sure, yeah. M Love and I, on Sunday night, we went with a great organization that is really positive called Rise Theater. And we went to a church, a youth group, and did some performing, and I had a great time. Did you have a good time, M Love?
I had an amazing, life-changing time.
Yeah, M Love did some poetry, and there was some dancing and singing, and it was just great.
Don't tell anybody about the dancing. That was nice.
We weren't bad.
But you did a little piece to that. It wasn't a piece. It was a statement that you made that really affected people.
Sure. Well, the group Rise Theater has folks participating who have mental health challenges or recovery from any number of things, life challenges, even substance abuse and that sort of thing. So anyway, I did a piece related to mental illness. Sure, I've been called crazy, and I've spent time in mental hospitals in Georgia. But turn on the news and skim social media, and what do you see? Poverty, homelessness, gun violence, addiction, overdose, global pollution, hate crimes, corporate greed, racism, and war. Do any of these things make any sense at all? Yet this is the norm. So ask yourselves, what does it mean to be called crazy in a world gone mad? Could a broken brain really be a broken heart? In the Bible, saints and prophets had visions and heard voices. Jesus spoke in parables people could not understand. He was bullied, mocked, persecuted for being different. In most cultures, artists are the visionaries. Maybe being crazy is just being creative. And maybe being normal is just a myth. And we're all a little crazy. Anyway, on any day, I'd rather be a sensitive seer, one who really sees, than be blind in a box called normal.
I like that. I like that. So Rise Theater is where we use the arts, visual, whatever, to show people what it's like to deal with whatever it is. Recovery from depression, mental illness, drug addiction, whatever. Everybody's working so hard to show the world what this looks like so people know they're not alone and that there is life, there is recovery,
there's
right?
hope, there's positivity. And Alexia Jones is the amazing founder and director of Rise Theater. And yeah, it's just great.
Join it. You can contact me. I'll get you the information where you can find me. I want to say thank you to our guest who made it here today through all kinds of circumstances. Thank you. Y'all look up Lauren, join her on Facebook. What's your social media, love?
Lauren Doriana on everything. So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My website is down, but I'm upgrading, so it should be up by next week. But if you want to book me, you can send it to lauren.doriana@gmail.com.
And where are we going to see you next?
I will be at Savoy Bar and Lounge on April 17th, and that's in Stockbridge. It's an awesome event, and it's hosted by a guy named Ken. And so check me out. It is from 8:30 to 10:30.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You blessed us. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And our Indie Artist Spotlight of the month for March is Miss Danae, D-E-N-A-E. I spell things because I need it. J-O-I. Across the Room is hot.
Thank you.
And you had another one we didn't have time for. We'll get on another show, Makeup. I love it. I love your music. I hope you appreciate it and got what Sean said.
Yes.
I'll get his number to you. Stay in contact with him.
Yes,
you need
most
good
definitely.
people around you like you already have.
Right.
But you just want to have people to look out for you. And I like what he was saying is the products that are you. You're the business.
Right.
And develop yourself because the world needs you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
No problem. Thank you behind the glass, who used to be here with a balloon, smiley kitty balloon. That's Maryland's spot. And I'm not allowed to say what tomorrow is, but you can read the balloon. Thank you, Missing Link. Thank you, IVNX. We love you. We do this every week because positivity. It's a movement, baby. We're out.
Yeah. Only one tidbit. Yeah. Did you enjoy the show? We appreciate y'all tuning in again. Yeah. And again. Yeah. And again. Yeah. Let's go. I hope M Love touched your soul and gave you more. We live every Tuesday from 2 to 4. Led by a strong black woman, Team Purple. A long time coming. Patience is a virtue. The best show, the best guests, the best topics. IBNX Radio, the best rocket. Rock solid, a lot of knowledge. Pay homage. Live life in the purple, taking off like a rocket. Only one. Yeah. Tidbit. Yeah.
IBNX Radio.